Hi folks again, it's me, Miss White Star Power. I'm just here to say I don't have a lot to say since it's close to election. We have 2 or 3 days to the final election day. And this is a bomb there once again. This is the star of the show. Except for we have White Star Power as well. And Michelle are here to represent Joe Biden. Yay! Biden is hopefully going to be president, and I hope that he can turn around the coronavirus. Pray to God he can if he gets elected, because it's here in our building now, and it's scary. And I never thought it would happen to us. So we don't have it. So, but it's in our building. So we have to take precautions. So, I hope you guys take care and, wear masks and use hand sanitizer like we do. And take care of each other, especially if you're a couple. Because me and my White Star are closer than ever now. Okay, are you ready, White Star? Here we are. He's wearing a better mask this time, too. Watch out for the printer.
There's a table over there, and a TV tray, and using them. Sorry, excuse me. You know, as well as I could see. So I'm sorry if I bumped into you. I'm trying to have to be careful. I don't want the privet to fall down. Okay, here's the chair. That's good. It means I know where I am. So I'm going to turn the chair to face the computer. Where's my picture? Let's see. I'm up there somewhere. Hi there, people. Yeah, it's the White Star himself. Which of course, as most people know by now, was a name given to me by Muhammad Ali years ago. Actually, it was back in 1980. He overheard a conversation with a friend of mine named Mike. His name, Mike Sale, who at that time was like a student in Islamic studies at the University of Chicago. So knowing that Muhammad Ali was Muslim himself, asked this guy, well, how do you feel about Islam? His reply was, although I do not follow the Sharia, when I was temple law, whatever, you can't eat pork, you must be circumcised, whatever. And so, although I do not follow the Sharia, however it's pronounced, I do believe the Quran is divinely inspired. That's, of course, in my opinion, and that I really feel that Muslims so drop this whole business about being circumcised and not eating pork and what other stuff that comes from the Jewish tradition. At least within Christianity, the Apostle Paul dropped that stuff, but that was because he was trying to appeal to the Gentiles, the non-Jews, and so very few people were going to convert if they had to cut off one of the most sensitive parts of the body. So the part about circumcision had to go. So he said something about how this stuff was all forgiven for Christians, and they didn't have to follow it anymore. Oh, okay, well, I don't know if I'm divinely inspired or not. That's not the issue. This is just how I feel about things. So yeah, I think my friend Mike was right. He did. She's drop it. So anyone out there who is a Muslim, listen to this well. You should take my opinion into account. Because, yeah, getting back to the story, yeah. So normally replied very loud, like, because I could hear him all the way over next door. But he said, was it, that the prophecy has been fulfilled. A white star will rise in the west. Okay, well, duh. I mean, I'm a white guy, white star, and I'm from Montana, so that's in the west. So that's kind of it for that. Because okay, so I've adopted the name for myself. And so, oh, by the way, if anybody out there knows Natalie Allen, or even knows who she is, like, why don't you send her something on Facebook or Twitter or well, if you can find an email for her, yeah, go for it. If not, you can contact her at cnn.com through the tips line. Anyway, just let people know that, let her know really, that I'm on here like every once in a while for a power hour, which of course never lasts entirely an hour. So, well, getting on with that. I was going to talk about the visualizer today. So Trish Brothers, she said she had to visualize her speech before she said it. So yeah, this is in the story I wrote a long time ago for a master's at the University of Chicago. The department I was in, the program was called General Studies in the Humanities. This is one of those interdisciplinary things where you could write your own ticket. As long as you could tie everything together with the theme, you could study you could take any class you wanted there. So I decided, well, I'd like to be a science fiction writer. So yeah, I sort of got classes in history and philosophy of science, and some English classes like say a 3-quarter sequence called Fantasy in the Gothic. As an undergraduate, I had to miss John Cooley's class in science fiction, which I really regretted. Although I did get to see Cooley for 3 quarters in a row as a thesis advisor. It really changed the direction the story was going to the better. At one point, he said that the story needed a frame. In other words, to make the transition. Well, in this case, I would having it be a one-world story, one-world fantasy. That's, like I said, a Lord of the Rings, where the hobbits are there from the beginning and they stay there. Compared to like a 2-world fantasy, where you have like the Lord of the Rings, not what's it called, the Lion, the Witch and Wardrobe, which they started making movies out of that series years ago, and I never found the rest of them. I don't even know if they completed the series. But in that case, it's like the children had to go through a magical wardrobe into the fantasy world of Narnia. Well, something similar happens here. Something similar happens here. It starts out with the characters like the character, the lead character is named Farber, Simon Farber. It's a symbol. But Simon is another name for Peter. In the Gospels, it says that thou art Peter, and which means, of course, rock, and on this rock I will build my church. So, well, Simon Farber. Farber means dyer in German, D-Y-E-R. Not someone who dies all the time. I mean, there is such a thing as a dyer in that sense. It's like an elaborate pun that probably originally was in Aramaic, but at least in the versions we have of the Gospel of Thomas. What's the Gospel? No, it's the Gospel of, wait a second, it's either the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Phil, which are Gnostic sources. I studied that stuff years ago at another school, the University of Montana, where my brother David was going around with me for a couple of years. Oh yeah, it's in the Glassville film. It goes, it's a multi-level Greek and eventually in Coptic because it was translated into that. The complete version of the book was found there. But it goes, God is a dyer. As a good dyes dye with the things that die in them, then see, as a good dyes dye, the things that are dyed in them, they're immortal through his colors. Let's see, things that die in them. So it is with they're immortal. They are immortal through his colors, but God dips what he dips in water. Now this is a pun on two Greek terms. I can't pronounce them because I don't know Greek. Baptizen and baptizenin, which means one means baptize and the other means dyer, or to color something. Of course, not to like say die on a cross for all mankind or whatever. So that's kind of what I was talking about there. How yeah. So yes, so the name Farber comes from that. It means dyer in German. So Simon Farber, he's the hero, and it's like so he winds up going to a parallel universe where the laws of science are different. I'm not going to get into that right now. Well, I probably won't ever on this site because it's like I don't want to give away the whole plot sequence for people who could potentially plagiarize me. I will tell people that okay, the visualizer is something that it's like the guy. It starts out with the guy putting electrodes, or actually attaching wires to electrodes, jutting from a rat's ball. That connects it to the visualizer. What that does is it shows what the animal is seeing, and so I guess it lab rat whacked out and some kind of weird psychedelic drug called Azot, AZOT, which once again the symbolic is the first and last letters of three languages. Alpha A Z Omega Tau. So yeah, well that's where the name comes from. But so he's zapping the animal with this stuff, and actually he's not zapping them, but they're all freaked out, and the visualization shows like this. Well, I can't really tell you what it shows because that'd be giving away a lot of the plot. Anyway, that's what starts him on his journey to a parallel universe. We're on the way. He meets this cool Indian guy. Well, not from East India, but from a Native American, American Indian, who are sometimes called Amerindians in the science fiction culture. I was objected to that when I sent something to Stanley Schmidt, the editor of Analog, who always sent back my stuff with encouraging rejections. Like, what my brother said, well, those are after all rejections. He missed the point. But the point was that he was encouraging me. He clearly planned to publish me. I just found his formula. And that gets back to Claudia's work. He's a formula theorist. Most literatures are formula stories. So once in a while, it's something anti-formulaic turns out. In other words, violates formulas. And most of this does not survive. Like, say, James Joyce's BS and what's it called? What's it called? Ulysses. There's another one. Finnegan's Wake. Yeah, that stuff is pretty much unreadable, and nobody reads it anymore except for scholars. So You can't go down, take something off the supermarket racks that resembles in the least bit either one of those stories. So, so if somebody anti-formulaic does survive, they can establish a new genre. So this guy, Corey, started the entire. It was the entire basis of still is the entire basis of modern popular culture studies. Well, he's dead now. I don't know how many years. I don't know how many years ago. I know there's John Ford who worked for best work in the same field, popular culture criticism. So yeah. So anyway, well, see, he helped me with this, and so that's one reason why the visualizer was introduced. And also this guy George Two-Ways, which one of my friends said, well, maybe you should make it into 4 ways more powerful. So I use that line somewhere in the story, but it's great. No, Amerindian, if you want, yeah, that's that establishment. Yes, what was it? Amerindian. Yes, I wrote this at the end of a cover. I wrote that I refuse to use the term Amerindian because I live near a reservation in Montana. I was when I was back somewhere else in the state. And no one there I know used a name for himself or each other. So he replied with a note that said, at the end, there are thousands of people for whom no other name could do, and put in parentheses, including myself, who am Cherokee. So I just said, okay, this guy's a Cherokee. He wants to call himself an Amerindian. That's cool with me. He can call himself whatever he wants. So from now on, if I write something about Native American Indians, then they're Amerindians. So, well, I don't care. That guy's a Cherokee. He's got more Indian blood in him than I do in mine. So, yeah. So, anyway, so yeah. So George Stewart, he's a guide figure, like Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings. It's like, see, every time something needs to be explained, he pops up, says this, that, or the other thing, and then disappears. Or sometimes he into a whirlwind of dust. I like that story, but I never finished it because it's supposed to be in 4 parts. The first part is like 20,000 words, actually 21,000 close to that, but the remainder was supposed to be about the same length. So I had rough drafts of those, but it's like I never really had a chance to finish it because, well, for one thing, I lost all that stuff by now, which is a shame because some of it was brilliant. But the other reason is okay, at that time I was writing all this stuff on medical marijuana, which was not exactly legal in those days. Because it dates back, the end of the 70s, mid to end of the 70s. So, well, yeah, you could still get arrested for that then. Right now, it's illegal in my state to use it for medical purposes. And after election, it could be illegal for everyone over 21. So I'm not terribly worried about that now. Maybe Trump decides to pick on me by sending the DEA here to arrest me specifically, which I doubt that's going to happen. Although, really, I'm talking about this Trump character. Yes, well, a few weeks back, okay, this was ridiculous. I mean, considering what he did and the extent he overexerted his authority. Because, okay, so Trish and I were fooling around one day on Twitter and Facebook, and we started putting up posts to the effect of like fake orgasm jokes. Like see, that was cool. Like it started out with by us saying Trump is even less interesting than a fake orgasm. Well, eventually, maybe we went too far, but he started making fun of his wife. What's her name? Starts with him, Melania. So yeah, so he got mad, pissed off, and like it seems like he contacted the owners of both Facebook and Twitter, and they didn't take the pages themselves down. They took down everything that was had been posted there. Um, so well, Facebook, the guy who runs Facebook, is a friend of Trump's, and he's pushing for him to get reelected. So that's why the guy has kept my stuff off there. As for the other place, Twitter, well, as soon as this happened, we contacted Nancy Pelosi and let her know what was going on. And Rachel Maddow, the woman from from the Rachel Maddow show on MSNBC. I would have preferred sending it to Natalie Allen because like, I'm trying to keep her having like what's the big stupid. In this case, I couldn't find an email address for her. I did have one for Rachel Maddow, so we sent that stuff there. But still, so yeah, and then we finally got home to Nancy Pelosi, even though like first attempts at email were like stondified, is that a word, or was stopped by I'm sure Trump again or some of the fools that work for him because it's like it's like see, we had to have like the 4-digit extension to your zip code to send something to her. So I didn't know it. So I found the post office. We Googled the number for the post office. We got this guy who said it was in the mailing department, where they put stacks of letter splitter and other things like that. So yeah, so he referred me to another number. I called that number. I got an answering machine, voicemail, whatever. And all it said was, if you want to know the 4-digit extension, you have to call this other number. And so I called the number. Turned out to be the first guy. I find that awful strange, or awful like strange, or whatever you want to say. That really is strange. I mean, why would the office have their phones given in such a way that you couldn't get your own zip code? That's stupid. So I'm sure that someone interfered at that time. Since we came back to Trump and did the jokes about I mean, I'm sure he has a sexy wife, a sexy daughter. That much is obvious if you just look at them, but still, it was kind of rude because we said Melania faked her orgasms too. I think we finally concluded by saying that Trump faked this all, which is kind of difficult for a man to do, if not downright impossible. But so anyway, I mean, we finally apologized, and some of the stuff on Facebook did go back up. None of the posts, just stuff from various groups. Tricia joined. Or the one with Farrakhan, that one got torn down because I don't think Trump did it. I think that the Nation of Islam did that because well, it's on Catholic. See, what happened was we eventually deleted both those pages because at that time Trump was playing around with us. He constantly take quotes from our Facebook page because I said because Trish helps me write it because I'm legally blind. I can't do the typing myself. So yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So yeah, getting back to faking orgasms. Well, so so what, honey? Medicine? Not for the paper. Um, whatever. So oh yeah, and Nancy Pelosi. So yeah, and I know Rachel Maddow kind of shies away from me because she knows I'm a man, and for a while I was running a Facebook page called A Cool Black Panther. It was supposed to be the greatest Black Panther of all time. I was going to use like a picture of Muhammad Ali for the profile, but see, it didn't work out because Facebook has a policy of, say, not allowing to use trademarks. And Ali apparently trademarked the name the greatest of all time. So the only closest I could come was a cool Black Panther. Then I wanted to change to something else, but I found out that I used up all my possible names. I only got like 4 or 5 changes to the ending, stuck with it. So, well, anyway, so the first thing I noticed I changed the name was that the only people posting to our wall were like white models, which I found interesting. So I decided, well, since I'm getting nothing but women on the page, I might as well make it a women's page. So yeah, so that way I mostly, well, only first, first ever women, and then people kept hacking the page, some of which was done by Muhammad Ali, of course, because he does things like that. But anyway, so people kept hacking the page, and then um, then these women would start adding their boyfriends. So I couldn't possibly go through all those hundreds of people and block or remove all the boyfriends. So eventually it turned kind of cool. But the point is, okay, I don't know. Yes, every single not really DJ, what they call uh, announcer from MSNBC was on that page except for Rachel Maddow. I think that was because she did realize at the time that it was a catfish page and that it was clearly a man running it. So she kind of shied away from me for that. But then, well, yeah, when I wrote to Nancy Pelosi, I said, please tell Rachel. I don't remember if I used the name Maddow or not, but I sure that was it. That my favorite soft drink is Mr. Fruity, and some people think I am. And, well, I think that changed things a lot. That's the whole issue of whether I'm not a Mr. Fruity. Well, I'm not going to confirm it or not yet. The same way I never confirm or deny the universal. Because see, I feel my place in Islam is like we said, Timothy, Leary, outside looking in. Yes, that's what happens after you die. I believe that you just go from the proximate or the near view of a system to the distal, the outside perspective, and I don't know, it's hard to understand, but that means the mind is infinite, so that's cool. I found that in book on consciousness and the brain, which was some of a seminar on consciousness and the brain. So anyway, so that was cool. Um, so anyway, so I don't know. If Rachel Maddow sees this episode of the Obama Power Hour, I guess they see Obama Power Hour, then well, right on. But still, well, I don't know. I'm obviously a man, but whether I look like Mr. Freeze or not is not the problem. So I hope she comes on my side. I know now she has because when I first approached her on Twitter about relaying to her stuff about the Black Panthers, she said, "The Panthers, great, go for it." So that's what I did. And so these things creep in gradually, because now once again we have people in the halls listening in on this conversation because they're busybodies. They have to spread everything around the whole building, which is stupid because right now they're spreading the COVID-19 disease everywhere in the building too. Which they're really dumb, some of these people. Especially like the one lady who lives next door is like she refuses to wear a mask because she says it hurts her nose. That is about the dumbest thing of all time, really. Because I don't know. I mean, if she could kill me that way, Trish too, and the other guys in this hall, even all over the floor. She doesn't stay home all the time. She just goes out often to bars, and what happens there? She could kill another dozen people. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what to do about this. Or some of the people who just gossip about us all the time because I don't think it's illegal to gossip at all. One of these guys loves to stand outside during our therapy sessions, and that's privileged information. So that's illegal. So I think someone should do something about that. What's her name? Oh yeah, Caroline, police manager, refuses to do anything about this at all because she's friends with this guy from Death Row, I guess you could call it. So she doesn't want him to leave. Well, okay, so he's old, he's 72, and he's been here for 20 years, and so. Well, on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, if he keeps gossiping about private information that belongs between a therapist or a psychiatrist and her patient, then I think you really should have to go. But that's not for me to decide. Hey, maybe we could start like a letter writing campaign to go to this woman and tell her, well, there you go, I'll give you the phone number. Give you the phone number 406 um, 453 4311. And what? Did I do the wrong thing?
Yes.
Okay, no, I don't think so. So anyway, we can't undo this, so let's move on to something else. Um, well, I'm not sure what. I think I've said enough for today. Why don't you finish, Tracy? Please don't be angry at me. But then, why did you get upset when I said that? Well, I know that, but I'll have to share back and finish off with the famous right there. So Obama Bear, Michelle Bear, and whichever bear is with you now. Yeah, how about Frogger? Did you bring Frogger here?
No, it's a little bit.
About this book.
Okay, folks. Jim had some pretty far off stuff to say. I hope you liked what he said, and I hope you understood what I said as well. And I don't mean to scare you about the coronavirus, but it's a pretty scary thing. And Obama is rooting for Biden so as to show off his wife. So keep your fingers crossed, folks, and pray. Maybe we get to see speak. And pray for us, and we'll pray for you, and we'll pray for the world. Okay? Thank you. Good night.